Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. On this channel, we spend our time looking at fantasy of all sorts, from books to movies to video games, and applying the characters within into the tabletop game, Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Today, though, we're going to be looking at a core mechanic of D&D itself, specifically, the Oath for Paladins, known as the Oath of the Ancients. This subclass leans very heavily into the old spirits of the old gods, the druids, the fae, and the powers that were around at the beginning of the world. The paladins swear their oath to these gods, basically swearing that they will preserve and kindle the light of life in the world. And this is a very, very fun paladin subclass to play. But how does it work mechanically? Let's have a look. As with all paladins, they get an expanded spell list. As half-casters, they get this spell list at 3rd, 5th, 9th, 13th, and 17th level, 2 spells per level, so a good smattering throughout their career. This one is very nature-themed. They get Speak with Animals, they get Moonbeam, they get Misty Step, they get Ice Storm, Tree Stride, Stone Skin, a nice spell list. I give it a 7 out of 10 overall. Then comes their Channel Divinity. The Paladins can use their Channel Divinity once per rest, and there's 2 different options for them. The first one is Nature's Wrath. This allows them to use their Channel Divinity to cause vines to ensnare enemies nearby. This Nature's Wrath is contested against a Strength or Dex save. It's a bit of a minimal use. There are single-use spells that could do this just as well, and to use your Channel Divinity on it is a bit of a stretch. I give this a 5 out of 10. Then there's their Turn the Faithless. Like any other cleric or paladin, they can turn, but instead of turning undead, they actually turn fiends and fae. Now, fiends are pretty common in the game, but fighting fae creatures is not that common of a thing. I give this turn a 6 out of 10. It's not the best. Then is their aura. All paladins get a few auras, and at level 7 is the one that's unique for their subclass. This one is called the Aura of Warding. And within 10 feet, you and your allies have resistance to damage from spells. This is fantastic. This is not magic resistance, which gives you advantage against spell saving throws. This is just resistance to spell damage, which means anytime evil wizard's going to drop a fireball or a cloud kill or something like that on you, even if you fail your saving throw, you're still taking half damage, and if you succeed your saving throw, you're going to take a quarter damage. This is great. And at 18th level, it extends out to 30 feet, but at lower levels, if you cluster around each other, you're taking a lot less damage. 10 out of 10. This is a great aura to have. Then, at level 15, comes the Undying Sentinel power. The Undying Sentinel basically gives you an extra life. When you drop to 0 hit points, you just don't. You can choose to drop to 1 instead. You can do this once per rest. It also has a little bit of a ribbon feature where you don't age. I mean, you still die of old age, but you suffer no effects from old age, and magic cannot age you ahead of your time. A ribbon feature to be sure, but you got some cool facts in the sense that you got that little extra life, 9 out of 10. Finally, your capstone feature, which is a super form that you can take as an action. You undergo a transformation, turning you into what's known as the Elder Champion, which gives you a lot of unique powers. First of all, you auto-heal for 10 HP every turn. At higher levels, this isn't that much, but it's something. Also, you can cast Paladin spells that originally would take an action as a bonus action. Now, this is a little less helpful than you might think, considering most Paladin spells are bonus actions to power up their smites, but if you're a spell-casting Paladin, and you aren't using smites, you're using other stuff, this is pretty good. Also, if you are within 10 feet of an enemy, when you use a spell against them, they have disadvantage against saving throws against those spells, and the channel divinity options. Overall, this is a little half-baked. In my opinion, it's one of those things that, like, if you healed a little more, or you were able to cast, I don't know, two bonus action spells a turn, or something like that, it would be pretty cool. But as it stands, this doesn't add a whole lot to the Paladin. I mean, it's good. It's not bad at all, but it just could have been a little better. I give it an 8 out of 10, personally. And overall, when you crunch the numbers, the Oath of Ancients Paladin gets an 8 out of 10. It's a pretty good Paladin. Spell list is good, the aura is fantastic, and their super form isn't bad. Their channel divinities are a little lackluster, but in general, I think it's a good Paladin to choose, and very, very flavorful for someone who wants to really lean into that old god mentality. 8 out of 10. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more subclass reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.